Hello and welcome back to the Barrett channel. We've got both of us today. We're actually in Shanghai, right in the center. You know, we've got the front and back cameras going so you can see where we are and what we're doing. We're in Lujiazui. A lot of you probably know this area, especially if you've been to Shanghai. It's sort of right in the center. Very, very busy area. It's obviously a lot less busy at the moment because of what's going on, which is quite nice because we're able to film this video. Because you said you've been here before, haven't you?
Yeah, it's normally absolutely packed here. You know, it's just so busy. You find sometimes it's a bit difficult even to walk because there's so many people going both ways. You know, it gets absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's a little bit different at the moment. It's very easy to get around. Here we've got the, what's it called?
Oh,
I don't know what that's called.
Pearl Tower, Pearl TV Tower or something like that.
Pearl TV Tower. That's a very iconic building that you see probably in a lot of pictures in Shanghai. This is our second or third day?
Second day.
Second full day in Shanghai. We're having a good time. We've been very busy filming lots of stuff, which you will see in the coming days and weeks. So today we just wanted to touch on a brief topic, and which is basically people find it really hard, even ourselves, even, you know, you've been here for what?
Yeah, I still mind boggles. I've been here 12 years on and off.
And I've been here a year, and it's even hard for us to conceive, but especially people who have never been to China, just the pure scale that things are done here and the scale of how big the cities are and just how big and upscaled everything is in comparison to...
Well, just Shanghai, where we are now, has a population of 30 million people. That's just under half the population of the whole of the UK in one city. I
know, that's absolutely mad. Like when in the UK, like I've only been to London. I live in a very rural area, or lived in a very rural area, in a village probably of 2,000 people. So I've been to London maybe 3 times, and whenever I went, I thought, wow, like the buildings and, you know, everything's so big here. But coming to China has really put things into perspective. Like London compared to Shanghai and Shenzhen seems small, like actually small. You know, how long does it take to get from one end of the city here to the other on the metro?
Oh, you can be well over an hour, easily.
Oh yeah, probably
easily,
2.
Probably 1.5, 2 hours, yeah. But I mean, you just mentioned the metro. You look at the Shanghai metro, right? When I last came to Shanghai, it was probably about 8 years ago. They had about 8 or 9 lines. They've now got 20 lines.
20 lines.
20 lines. You can literally get pretty much all over the city on the metro. And the central bit, it's like a maze. Yeah, there is just lines everywhere. I'll pop a little map on the screen so you can see, but it just blows your mind at how many interchanges there are and lines. And then some of the stations, they're like massive shopping centres underground.
Underground.
They like go for miles, man. They're huge.
Yeah, it is insane. Like you see in Shenzhen, I've never seen like as much underground building as there is here. I didn't even really know it. Like I knew, you know, some things were underground, but here it's like they fully use underground space just as if it's the same as overground space.
It seems as massive projects like building an underground at such a scale just doesn't faze them.
No, not at all.
They just like do it and get on with it, and it's like, oh well, we're opening another 3 lines and they just get on with it and build it. You know?
If you think about it, when you're building multiple lines interweaving, they've got to cross, you know, so
they've all got to be on different levels, yeah.
So sometimes you go into a metro station, which is already an underground one, and then you go down like 3 escalators, and you think you realise you're actually you must be 20 or 30 meters underground.
Easily.
It doesn't feel like that at all. Just imagine the amount of earth they've got to like take out, and where they've got to put that earth as well.
But it's just that, you know, the sheer amount of people in a city like that, you know, they must do millions and millions of journeys on that metro every day. And the other good thing about it, because so many people use it, it is cheap. And that has a spiral effect that because it's cheap, so many people use it.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to think what a city like this would be like if they didn't have a metro system like that.
Yeah.
Because so many people use it every day. You know, you get on some of the lines at peak time and you're like sardines in there because it's such a used thing. Whereas you know, you go to London, for example, in the UK, like it costs you sort of £2 to go a few stops.
Yeah.
You know, here you can go like from one side of the city right to the other. You'd be on there about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It costs you like 80 pence or £1.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's so cheap.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I put it back into perspective when I used to get the bus when I was a little bit younger to a town which was 10 minutes away, and that cost me £2 for one way, which is about $3 US. Whereas here, you can literally jump on a bus or a metro for 2 hours, and it will cost you 20% of that.
Some pretty good architecture in front of us here. So that big building with a big cutout at the top.
Yeah.
That's there because of when it's windy, it would have been too much of a sort of thing for the wind, so they had to design it with that cutout so the wind can pass through it.
Oh, okay.
And that was the biggest building in Shanghai, but I don't believe it is anymore.
This here homes the tallest building in China, right?
I don't know.
I think it does.
I think it might be. But that used to be the tallest building, but I don't think it is anymore. I think there's a new one gone up, that sort of round, sort of shaped one. I can't see that at the moment.
Yeah, I can't see that.
And I think that's the Jin Mao Tower. A number of years ago, I went in there with my daughter, and we went to they got like a sky cocktail bar at the top. And it's absolutely fantastic views over the city from there.
Yeah, we'll have to try one of these towers.
So, quick plug, we actually did end up finding the tallest building in Shanghai, the Shanghai Tower. It actually has the highest observation deck in the world, and we did a 1 hour YouTube live stream on the top. What an experience that was, because I can't imagine there's many people that would have done that. I'm going to plug a card at the top right hand corner of the screen here. Make sure you go and check it out after this video.
We wanted to get a time lapse of this area, because let's just show you like where we are right now. So this is just an entire walk around this massive roundabout that's in the middle.
Well, they built this because there's such a big road intersection, and this is normally such a busy place that they were having, you know, issues with so many people trying to cross the road.
Yeah, so it massively eased up the traffic.
So what they did, they just built this massive sort of like overpass for pedestrians.
That's literally touches right on what we're talking about. Like they're not phased at all by easing up congestion by just doing this massive infrastructure project that's going to cost so much money, but it's also going to employ a lot of people for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I was actually in Shanghai when they were building this, and there was massive disruption for probably at least a year when they were building this. But look at it now. I remember coming before this, and I'd get off the bus or the metro to go into, I think the shopping centre's this one here. It's a massive shopping mall, and it was a nightmare crossing the road. But now, like, every road has got escalators or stairs up to this walkway. You just go up there, around, down where you want to get off, and Bob's your uncle, you're there,
yeah,
man.
We were saying as well that, you know, we can only speak for the UK, but I'm sure it's the same in a lot of sort of Western countries. A lot of other countries in general, they wouldn't think of spending all this money on something like that. They would just, you know, try and take a cheap option, which is only going to work temporarily, wouldn't they?
I mean, they really don't have a problem here building infrastructure, which is superb. You know, there's some amazing building infrastructure and buildings here. It really blows your mind.
I think, back to like comparing like here to London, it just doesn't even compare. Like when you've got a population of 1.4 billion, it's like everything is upscaled by 10 times, because like I just can't believe, sometimes I zoom in on the map and I think, oh, that's really close, but then really it might be a 45-minute walk. It's just because the city's so big.
Yeah, like yesterday you go, oh yeah, our hotel's not far from here.
Yeah, it's not far.
Half an hour later in the taxi.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a massive shopping mall. I've literally never seen one bigger in my entire life.
Yeah, we're going to take you in there later on. We might do a video about that, because it is pretty impressive in there. It doesn't look much from outside.
I know, yeah.
But when you get inside, it's just absolutely huge. So
another
really
point is that you can see, obviously, in China, everyone's still wearing a mask. You've got one more woman over here, which is quite odd. Oh, she's got one round her neck, but still, everyone's here wearing a mask, and that just shows you what, there's 1.4 billion people here. That means 1.4 billion people a day are needing masks.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else in the world they'd be able to supply that, would they?
Well, that's right. I remember when I first started coming to China, I was reading about factories, and I'd read a factory. Oh, they've got a capacity to produce like 1.5 million pairs of shoes a month. I used to think, one factory, yeah. I used to think, what? Where do all those shoes go? But then, like here, you see when a new fashion comes, like half of the female population will be buying that shoe.
Yeah.
You know, and there's 1.4 billion people here. This makes sense
as to why a lot of Chinese companies don't even look to go into the outer market, like the international market, because they've got such a big internal market that all speak their language, so it's way easier to market to, and they don't even need to, because they've got you can get incredibly successful businesses here just by being internal.
There's like, you look at like Anta Sports, right? They're like the Nike of China. You know, they have shops everywhere. There's 361 Sports.
Yeah, I've never seen any of those.
Well, no, there isn't, because like you say, they're just in China, because they have such a big market here. They just don't need international. And it's only now that some of these big phone brands are pushing into other countries. You know, they realise there's a market there. Actually, they realise that they have a better product than some of the competitors at much cheaper price. So it shouldn't be that difficult for them to get into other markets, really.
You think if someone comes out with an app that storms the market, like for example, I don't know if any of you remember, like, you probably won't know this, but Doodle Jump or Flappy Bird, right? These are just two little games that just absolutely took the world by storm, and Pokemon Go as well. Literally, if they design an app like that in China, that's something else. You know, when you're looking at online shopping, right, and you see reviews, you might go onto Amazon, it's got like 30,000 reviews or 50,000 reviews. You think, wow, that's a lot. You go onto some of the platforms here, they've got like 20 million reviews on a product. You know, it's like, just blows your mind that so many people have bought that product. And I know a guy, right, who lives by me, and he's probably no more than about 33 years old. You're gonna bump this kid.
And literally, he's already retired. And do you know how he made his money?
Go on.
He got this gadget. You know, like when you have a phone and it counts.
You
know when you have a phone and it counts your steps.
Yeah.
Well, this was a little device which rocks your phone backwards and forwards. Yeah.
Oh no.
And it clocks up your steps. He was selling 1,500 a day for months on end, and literally he made enough money from that to virtually retire. No way. So it just shows you how big the market is. You know, if I often boggle my mind, think if you could design an app for a phone that you just charge $1 and it took off here, you'd make hundreds of thousands, you'd make millions of dollars, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's mad.
You know, if you just got 5% of the population to pay $1, and it obviously makes me wonder, you know, these like games where you have like in-game purchases.
Yeah.
Some of those companies must make stonking amounts of money off those.
So
like
so basically the point we're trying to make is very difficult to conceive the amount, you know, just the pure scale of everything here. You know, people, population density, manufacturing, just everything is, you know, up times 10. And it's pretty interesting when you think of it on a broad scale like that. Anyway, this video is rolling on, so we'll bring it to an end here. We're about to take you into that shopping mall, but that'll be in another video.
We hope you liked all the architecture around as we're walking around, because there's some absolutely superb buildings here. It's just great, man.
Yeah,
it's
definitely,
so cool.
Definitely. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop the notification bells as well so you never miss one of our uploads. And social links are down below. Make sure you follow us over there because we're getting a lot more active as of recent. And as always, take care. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Take care.